All right. Good morning. Today is Monday, December 16th. It's about 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time. For the record, I'm a little later than I intended to be today. Full disclosure, my wife made cinnamon rolls. If you know, you know. Okay. Uh, she has the day off today. She had a doctor's appointment. While we chat, a reminder. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat. My name is Jared Malat. Okay. I use Blue Sky as my social media network of choice. Okay. I post multiple times a day on TikTok. Okay. And also had TikTok not been so sensitive to the content that I create, um okay. Had they not been so sensitive to my content, we would be co-streaming live. Your wife made you cinnamon rolls. Let's get this day going, my friend. Yeah. So that ass. I was getting ready to go live. I always like love on the dogs, make sure they're like settled down before. Hey Julie, hey Lori. Uh, and I went into the kitchen. Was like, oh, she made fucking cinnamon rolls. I only had like a little one because I'm trying to watch my girlish figure, right? So I broke down and had a second. I always try to not necessarily get the biggest cinnamon roll, but I try to get the best looking one, the one that you would put in a package. And I'm like, I want that one, and I ate that. That's why we're late. You have to forgive me. So, for the record, the work I'm most proud of is the content that just went up. Lori Harrell said I'm a wake and baker. Oh my god, Lori. One of the things I frequently tell my chat is you've never seen me sober. I would venture to say, since I have turned 18 years old, that no one's seen me sober. Especially if I have to leave my house, drive in traffic, go to a family reunion, for example. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm getting high in the porta potty. So, um, yeah, it's for the record, it's best part of waking up. I also like coffee, so it tends to balance you out. Um, but yeah, for the record, I wanted to start by saying the most important work that I do is the content that I just posted. That doesn't have anything to do with politics. Keep in mind, I am a high school football coach, and I also have kids that I coach that are now in college. Excuse me, I burped. I'm sorry. And obviously, everybody's kind of handling gestures generally differently. Uh, One of the things that I frequently have to remind myself is that I'm handling this a lot better than other people. Uh, to put it fucking goddamn overstatement of the fucking century, Jared. Um, I watch other people's content and obviously I really empathize with people that don't look like me. I think that's actually one of the strengths of my channel, of my show, is that you won't necessarily see me dividing my audience. That they tend to do that themselves. They tend to march to their own beat, and I have very little that I can actually do. But while we sit here chat, let me get a message out on Blue Sky. Always greeting of the day. Good morning. We are hashtag live on YouTube. Let's get, gotta go to your channel, YouTube Studio, and then it'll show our live. Holy shit. By the way, we are at 722 subscribers on YouTube. So, fucking thank you. We've gained 364 subscribers in the last 4 weeks. That's more than I had. So, we've gained more than I had in the last 30 days. So, that's fucking awesome. I love y'all. Trying to see my work content live. Hey, at least I can find us on my own YouTube. And then here's the video. I'm going to post that in the chat. Hey, that's the link to where we are right now. So there's 8 people in here. Hey, Dip. Hey, Logan. 8 people in here already for a morning show. It's good. Like I said, full disclosure, we were a little late this morning. My wife made cinnamon rolls. It is what it is. What do you think about the Logan Act? Okay, do you want... Okay, I must be a smartass. Lori, are you ready? If it ain't treason, it don't move the needle. Do you get it now? Like, because Donald Trump and Elon Musk committed like the highest of crimes, it's like, yeah, babe, add it to the list. Like, what the fuck? You understand? Like, that's about as smartass as I get, by the way. Is like, he committed fucking treason. Violating the Logan Act? Down the list a little bit, I think. That said though, that's what my initial piece this morning was about. Was about like, you know why this isn't getting talked about on major media networks. You know why somebody like a Midas Touch, who's trying to cement themselves as like the #1 left news platform, they're not covering this shit because they're trying not to divide their audience. They're trying to max out, right? Because there are like establishment fucking Dems that have just cold given up on this shit. For the record, if you honestly think the government doesn't know what's going on, I would encourage you to watch Bernie Sanders' fucking interview when asked about drones and understand that there's a little bit of a delay of a couple seconds when someone says something before you see the reaction, and he totally gives it all away for me. He goes like, "Oh shit, like fucking drones and shit." Not, I'm really concerned. Yeah, so like he definitely like broke character. He didn't necessarily speak and break character, but like on his face once he caught the question, he broke for a second. I hate that mustache so much. Oh my god. No poker face. Amanda, you're exactly right, babe. That's what I'm saying. First poker face is bad. Yeah. His shit gave it the fuck away, man, because he was like, oh shit. I mean, no, I'm really concerned. It's really concerning. Yeah. Gotta do something about it. But yeah, we're live on YouTube. Or should I say I am or we are? You know what I mean? I am live on YouTube. So we should like hashtag them. Is you discussing news and politics? And we'll use our hashtags, stop project 2025, election 2024. What else? We're talking about Bernie Sanders this morning. We're talking about drones. Oh, Logan Act. Fuck, we'll put that in there. We talked about treason. fucking cinnamon rolls. Oh, those are the hashtags I'm using. We had 100 fucking 15 characters. We could have done a little more with that. But I think it's important to just get like a message out with a few tags in it. I think that's what you're supposed to do, is like get your message out. All right, so here, I'm going to post this in the chat. If you would, do me a solid. Okay? Throw that around. That's a link to the show. I'll get into like scheduling a show and shit like that. Um, but it's tough. It's tough to do that with no money on the line. Does it make sense? Like our agreement between like y'all is I'm gonna try to get in here at 90-minute intervals, couple times a day. I'm getting two different crowds of people asking very similar questions. So and largely kind of repeating what we said in the early show in a even more condensed form. I would argue the afternoon show is probably better than the early show, right? Because we're getting fresh takes here early. But yeah, if you would that's not what I meant. I meant like the content. Like, share, add me on Blue Sky. That's a social media network I use. I'm also on TikTok. I don't know how you found me. Okay. Did I put my TikTok in there? Yeah, my TikTok's in there. We should like pin that. Pin. Oh, you can only have one pin at a time? That's stupid. Here, let's pin this message. Okay. So yeah, if you watched my early content, let me tell you about the first video I made this morning. Also, let me put this feeler out there just to keep the hooks in. Did y'all see Alex Bruesewitz collapsed last night? He's like an advisor to Donald Trump. Uh, he like passed out. Generally, it's because you're like under a great deal of duress or stress. Anyway, so so the piece of content I posted this morning, I'll post the link to it so that you can zone me out while you. Oh, it's getting a big. One of my pieces got a community guideline violation. Oh, that's wild. My motivational piece. Wild. So it's good. The piece I was going to talk about is still up. Okay. So there. That's my first piece this morning. Why did my Oh, because I said we are the aliens, we are the oh, so keep in mind, let's talk about this. Sorry, caveat on top of caveat. So I just posted a motivational piece before I went live. That's not why I was late. I recorded it a little after 8 a.m. I generally don't go live until about 8:30. I try to do 8:30 to 10. If we can do 8:30 to 10, generally I can get another session in before lunch, before I'm starting to get like hungry for lunch. And again, on days where you get the first couple sessions in, of course, as long as you're continuing to grow, I'll do another session, do another couple sessions, especially once money gets involved. Uh, 6 hours a day is a ton to be like live talking about the news, especially once money starts to become involved. So like I said, I'm excited because this is what I want to do. Right, this is what I wake up and this is what I want for myself. And I figure if I want this for myself, then there's even a little bit of a crowd. Like other people are looking for the same thing. I want to know what the truth is. I want to know what the mainstream media is not saying because we've come to understand that mainstream media and Donald Trump, they're all on the same payroll, effectively. The chief executives at these major corporations are absolutely taking marching orders from Donald Trump and are absolutely bending the fucking knee. Okay. Um, Again, I'll bring them up again. Midas Touch, trying to cement itself as the largest left-leaning media organization, isn't talking, in my opinion, based on the evidence available. Midas Touch is also not talking about the facts. A lot of them and their content seems to be wrapped up in this dystopian dictatorship nightmare future that we're going to be in. That the corporate media fucking desperately needs. They desperately need this. Because one of the things that I'll always come back to is democracy is boring as fuck. There's a reason that we're okay with dividing our audience, is because we are off-putting as fuck. I curse. I talk about things like math. I'm starting the conversation alienating half of the people. They're just like, this dude's talking over my fucking head. I watched Jessica Valenti last night. She was working with Gotham Girl. They were doing like a podcast together. I just want to point out, and that shit was from the 11th, and I'm gonna share it because it's good. It's good to share your colleagues' work, especially when they don't look like you, and give your audience the opportunity to do for them themselves what I did. I watched her speech. Watch her speech. Is that her name? Did I fuck it up? Denson? Fuck. I don't know why I said Valenti. Damn. Yeah. Love her. Love her. I watched this this episode here from 4 days ago. I listened to the whole thing. Okay. No, you're right. You're right. Jessica Denson. And Caitlin Bird. Okay. So I encourage you to listen to an alternative. Okay. Listen to that. Yes. Not gonna absolutely not taking shots across the bow. Okay. What I'm pointing out though is that they're both, I know why that's not on Midas Touch, for the record. Um just also because it's too possible. People take sentences and they will construe them however they want. I said I know why that ain't on Midas Touch. It's too smart. Fuck out of here. So, you watched Jessica and Caitlin talk. They're much bigger content creators than I am with much more of a track record. I'm not even on their fucking level. Again, this isn't a shot across the bow. This is just pointing out facts. Amidst their concern, yeah, try not to alienate anyone. So, one of the things that started to bother me is the volume of content that I see that is fear mongering from the left. That is not, let me make sure I'm using the word correctly. That's not reticent. Does everyone know what reticent means? It means they're not telling you everything. So the reason that I point that out, reticent, is that um, I'm sort of the opposite. Is I'll just tell you that they both sat and explained how Donald Trump is going to subvert democracy and become the next president, and how there's no stopping it. And neither of them 4 days ago. So think about, this is Monday, that was put out Wednesday last week. I'm guessing it was recorded Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday before, whatever, right? So I'm guessing they've had that in the bank for a minute. You know what I mean? I'm not assuming that it was recorded live and posted, like my content. Okay? But what you don't ever see either of them say is they don't bring up Executive Order 13848. This is after that became like public knowledge. Nor do they reference the prosecuting election crimes document. And I think that with those being like public information, that if you can't read the executive order and then read the document about prosecuting election crimes, start to connect some dots, start to see how this is going to come into play. You're not talking about how it's a matter of national and international security. And I've been pounding the table, all this time selfishly, 100% selfishly. I'm trying to de-escalate. I want a nonviolent resolution of all of this because I got cousins on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry that are there because of me. That came to my house when I first bought my house and had a housewarming party and stood in my garage and smoked cigarettes, having just graduated high school. And I told them, are you planning to go to college? And they were like, no, I had a below a 3.0 GPA. And I was like, you think about joining the service? And they said, yeah. And they were like, we were just, should we join the fucking Marine Corps Infantry? And I was like, you will be the most prepared for whatever is in front of you. And now those boys are, finishing up their first and second enlistments. And so selfishly, I've been trying to think of like nonviolent approach to this. This part of the reason it drove me to socialism was I realized like if people could just be openly fascist and not get strung up, then I ought to be able to be fully socialist and not get strung up. And once you come to the understanding that all socialism is the demand for universal healthcare, education, income, and housing. And now we're all just fucking socialists. You don't have a choice now because now that you know the definition, how could you be opposed? You have to take a position of capitalism or sort of neoliberalism where you would take it for yourself, but you don't want it for everyone. Because, one of the things I keep pointing out is that in healthcare, especially, when you become elderly and you no longer have an income and you become eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, those healthcare plans are socialism. They're $0, zero copay, zero max out of pocket, zero for drugs. They'll pay thousands of dollars a year for your dental, vision, and hearing too. They'll even give you money for groceries and bills. That's part of the reason I got out of it. Is because people that already didn't have enough were getting not enough. Do you understand? The glass was less than half full and nothing is out there filling your glass. Good morning. So when you know now what I know, because I tell you, the content that you see isn't reticent. They are either denying the truth and refusing to report on the reality, right? And here's the thing about Executive Order 13848. One of the things I love is that I shared it with my wife and I made my wife read it first because there was already a subreddit discounting its veracity before my wife. And when I first found out about it on last Sunday, somebody had already posted that it's a hoax. So I just want to point out, and I like the quality of link. Okay, here's a briefing from September 9th, 2024. Oh, that's kind of wild. Fuck. It was too long. I tried to put the link in. That was wild. Okay. So anyway, if you just Google Executive Order 13848. So you could just put this search term in your search bar. And what I encourage you to do is look at the link quality, right? An EDU link is good. UCSB, okay? Whitehouse.gov, um, that's real good, okay? Even the National Archives, morning, okay? It says Trump Whitehouse.archives.gov. Donald Trump wrote this bill, okay? So the reason that I'm saying this is because, like I said, I'm seeing other content creators that are out here posting full-length podcasts, and it's all doom and gloom. Donald Trump's going to run us over, and it's conspiratory in that it is not. It is not reticent. It is not playing with all your cards face up and telling everyone what you know. Just so everyone knows, I'm not hiding anything from you. I don't have anything that I know that I'm not disclosing. Once you get into holding on to information and not imparting it on your audience, you've lost their trust. You are never going to get it back. Once your audience finds out that you're reticent, that you know about this and you chose not to report about it, and it has something to do with the content that you're creating, you have no credibility. So keep that in mind. There's a reason I made a video and was calling people out. And I'm glad I didn't say her fucking name right. Good for me. Because we have a responsibility as journalists to take in all of the information available to us as we receive it, and it ought to change our tune. It ought to have an impact on our lives. And I find it funny now that I say that. The first thing that came to my mind was like people don't want politics. Don't be so political, and it's like your whole fucking life is politics. What are you even talking about? The fact that you can like leave your house and drive to work and on functioning roads should tell you that government is important. Because I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I don't know about anybody else, but our road quality is fucking awful, especially in the winter. It's because the mantra in Indiana is if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. And so because the weather seems to change so fast, it feels like we're not prepared. But yeah, so I want to point out to everyone I made a piece of content that is a motivational speech this morning. It already got fucking banned on TikTok. Okay, and here's the message. A lot of people are down. A lot of people, are unsure about the future, and there's a lot of talk about aliens. Yes, Indiana roads are the fucking worst. I mean, subjective as fuck. Me too. I guess how I feel. We're just not ready. We're like I mean, if you look at the data, we're like the 40th dumbest, 40th smartest. There, it's probably better. Um, but yeah. So, oh fuck, what was I talking about? God damn it, Jared. I hate when I do that. Fuck. Oh, about things being public information and it not having an impact on the words that come out of your mouth. Like, okay, I like understand that. I also know that without Executive Order 13848, all Donald Trump has to do is muddy the results of the election and ultimately try to get it in the hands of the states or the SCOTUS, which are friendly to him, to deliver him unto him the presidency, kind of regardless. I know that, but yeah, that's part of reading comprehension, right? Is never being able to infer for, you receive information, and that doesn't change for you your thoughts at all. I don't know about anybody else, but my thoughts are constantly evolving, right? Like, I may have come into something with a certain level of understanding, but as my understanding in this particular aspect increases, right, it might change my perspective a little bit. So one of the things I have a problem with is that the big channels have reported on it, but that hasn't affected their overall approach. They're still on the doom and gloom tip. Oh my God, we're all gonna die. Like, and I empathize with people that don't look like me, right? Maybe not be feeling comfortable saying Donald Trump's ass is grass, and all of those agencies he's trying to get rid of are doing the frying. The DOJ never always gets its man. Remember that. I remember I told you that. And I can back this up. Look up the Department of Justice as it refers to organized crime and gangsters in this country. Remember the Tommy gun shootouts in the 40s? Am I right? Am I wrong? Organized crime? Yeah? Where the FBI like literally chase you down and gun you down on the street? Like I said, do a little research. They've been researching this. It's so evident and in your face, right? It's so evident. It's so in your face. It's like he cheated. He cheated. He won, and he's laughing in your face. And I want to tell you that like cheaters don't win. Like, yeah. So, well, what I'm interested in, May, is if he doesn't get indicted because he makes the payment, where did the money come from? And I think that's part of the reason that he got that short notice was because, like I said, once you've, I think he committed fucking treason, right? So like once you committed treason, you're like on everybody's fucking radar, right? And they're monitoring you constantly, and like your bank account too. Am I right? So I think they did that knowing exactly how much he had in the bank, and know that if he did anything, I mean, Lori said Capone and Gotti eventually went to prison. Yeah, I always think about like organized crime and the ones who got away, right? Like that's why I try to talk about like this is such a long time coming. It feels like inevitable. Like I've said, it is unconscionable for this administration to hand the keys to him. I think it starts uh, a few days after. Like I said, I think what we're in for a rough ride this week. I think a lot of people are gonna be on the ledge where they're real close to giving up on the Democratic Party. They're real close to just giving up in general. Like it's just shit's gonna get dark. But again, I'm also pointing out like Kamala Harris definitely said, "Only when it's darkest will you truly see the stars." I'm just stating facts. The fucking winter solstice is on December 21st, which is like the day after that fucking report is due, and they've known for like 6 fucking years that that day was coming. So only when it's darkest will you truly see the stars. And when she said that, I think that she meant Merrick Garland and Jack Smith and Mark Elias. Uh, so I think that happens on like the 23rd or later. Yes, I empathize with people that are nervous. I always empathize first. I can only imagine what it feels like right now to be like a woman or person of color or a member of the Jabitiqua. Like you're in danger. You're constantly in danger. Hopefully, and I try to make sure that the content coming out of my mouth is like drink water, take care of yourself, get 8 hours of sleep and shit. So because like you're gonna need those things in the event of a conflict too. You're gonna want to bed down. I asked you what you thought of her facial expression after her speech. So, see if I can find it. Yeah, I mean he kind of said it too. Like when you have a party that straight up does not want to play by the rules, like we're gonna have to fight about that. Yeah, and Jeffries as well. Yep, where he talked about often the person that's loud is weak and silence, and there's great strength in silence. Um, I think their position, right? If my wife's back, yeah, she's back home. Oh, and by the way, I feel like I'm in a position where I can say it now on my show. Okay, this is Justice's Waiting Room. It's a daily 90-minute interval show that might happen a couple, three, four times a day. It just kind of depends. Okay. This is what I want to do. I am a journalist for life. I don't know if I told you guys this. When I was in high school, my junior and senior year, I was in journalism classes, and I read the news before school, before Channel One. So we talked about like the clubs and sports and stuff. Um, and then, like I said, when I came home for the Marine Corps, I went back to school, got up to a full time job, and started writing about the Colts. I think in like 2011. And then, like I said, for 6 years straight, I was a Vox Media employee covering the Indianapolis Colts. So I have a little bit of like a journalistic background. I've actually, and you know what's interesting now that I'm sitting here hosting a live show is that I'd always been afraid to do something live and solo. For the past 6, 7 years, I've had a co-host. I've been blessed. I've had fantastic people to fucking work with. I worked with a patent lawyer from Virginia that played lacrosse. I think he played lacrosse at UVA. His name was Stephen Reed. So I had a great co-host for a few years. COVID hit, and his farming business took a hit because of COVID. The horses got sick. And so I had to find a new co host. And for the last few years, I've had a co host. His name is Mateo Calise. He's from Argentina. Like he still lives there. And recently we've not recorded our podcast because Argentina elected a far right government, drove the prices up for everything. He had to move back in with his family, doesn't have as good an internet anymore, and isn't as available because he has to fucking work as he once was. And it serves as a great reminder to me about what can happen when you elect fascists and you elect people that want to kowtow to billionaires and leave us all poor. Um, and I say all that to say, I posted two things on TikTok today. Okay, I posted my morning prep my live where we talk about the contents of the what the podcast is probably going to be talking about, and then I posted some motivational shit, right? And understand that the premise was, you know, mostly I'm talking to people who don't look like me. Okay? That's most of my audience. White boys fucking hate my guts because I don't champion for white boys, right? But I post something this morning trying to tell my kids that instead of taking stuff negatively, live your life as though I am the alien. I am the immigrant, the poor man, poor woman, the God, and live your life that way and be a great agent of change rather than uh you know, it's probably better than believing in aliens. Believing it's probably better than believing in a God. It's probably better than hating the poor man, right? It's probably better than hating the immigrant, right? And that content got taken down from TikTok for a community guidelines violation. Like, I'm going to have to appeal that. But my other shit's good. So, yeah, bringing up going for governor of California, right? Right? Okay, I lied. It didn't get a guidelines violation. Okay, it's there. That's wild. Huh. So initially that had a guideline violation on it. And I didn't get a notification. I just saw it when I went to my TikTok. See, this is why TikTok's collapsing. So everyone's been asking me, like, what do you think about the TikTok ban? Um, for the record, TikTok's not a way of life for me. It's not a income stream for me, right? I'm not carefully selecting my words with the attempt to make money with everything I post. If you are taking a capitalistic approach to content creation, it isn't gonna hit. You're gonna fail to get the interaction you want, the followers you want. Your likes are not gonna be there because you're not genuine. You're again, we've been talking about this word reticent, right? In my opinion, how could you have gone if you're an American citizen? How could you have watched election night, having watched other elections in the past, seen how fast and again, I know that if you watch my video this morning, you're like, Jared, you already said that. Yeah, thanks. Uh, if you watched how fast the Democrats conceded on election night and how they ran out the next day, 2 days after, and gave great concession speeches where they said absolutely fucking nothing. All the way, you could go all the way from then to last night when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris spoke again. Okay? And I'll tell you, I watched the speeches, I read the transcripts to the speeches. Those were fucking nothing burgers. I'm just calling it like I see it. Those were fluff. Those they're well-written speeches, they're simply reading. One of the things that I want to ask is if anybody's keeping up with certification. That's one of the things that I've not kept up with. I got 14 people in here right now. Holy crap. Good morning, everyone. Listen, drink water, get 8+ hours of sleep, take care of yourself. Okay? This is Justice's waiting room. What we try to talk about are news items with a left leaning perspective, and we try to stay attached to reality. So what we're not going to do on this channel is and on this YouTube show is we are not going to live in a dystopian dictatorship future and meld our conversation around that. Because until that is a certainty, I'm not living in that. Yeah, so May, I wasn't going to say anything until I did a little more research. Logan, what I meant. So one of the things that you do, the way I do it, I'm a data analyst, right? I listen to the speech, I read the transcript, and I'm looking for a true form of concession. Okay, I want to hear that first. Then we're protesting. Savvy. So first, what you do is you listen to it and you listen for true market concession. And I don't have that yet. I don't get that. Those were nothing speeches. Those are holiday speeches. These are fun, loose, not meant to give any information away. Okay. But I want to point to recently Kamala Harris ended a speech with "I'm not going anywhere." You could take that however you want. My brain was like, "No, the fuck you're not." Wartime powers, NATO Article 4, Article 5, us being on the doorstep of World War III, and like I said, I didn't hear anything that made me be like, "Oh damn." Well, there goes democracy. You know what I mean? But I didn't get that. If you came away from those speeches with more doom and gloom, I'm afraid that you just didn't hear what you wanted to hear. And like I said, if you're making content right now that doesn't say, part of the reason that maybe that the Democrats are being so quiet about all of this and we're trying to like sift through the minutia that they're giving us to see if we can find anything of substance is it's a matter of national and international security, and that mum is the word. And I've been saying the whole time, never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake. Okay? So let me pat myself on the back for saying that while also saying, you know how it was worth it? You know how I made a video last week about how there are three components to treason? There's levying war, there's doing the enemy's will, and there's giving aid or comfort to the enemy. So everyone's up in arms. Why the fuck haven't Democrats been more forthright and come out and told us what's going on? And it's like, because they could just stay silent. And last week, Donald Trump posted he didn't want missile strikes deep into Russia. And if that isn't giving aid and comfort to the enemy, I don't know what is. And so if I'm trying to lower the boom on somebody, right? I'm trying to ring someone up for charges greater than uh participating in an insurrection, right? Which it violates the 14th Amendment Article 3, which should prevent Donald Trump from becoming president all by itself. Okay? And if we were a serious government that had its shit together, that should just be like the message. Like, Donald Trump is not going to be president. He's not eligible. Oh, you know what I was thinking? Joe Biden's taking notes. He's going around to all these. Like, if you haven't figured it out yet, you know who's incredible at geopolitics? Joe Biden. He's been doing a little world tour the last like 90 days, and within like a week of him leaving, something incredible happens in that country. So, and it's almost like, look at what I'm about to do. Hey, Val. So yeah, a lot of people are nervous. I'm not nervous. We know the time frames. But again, what we were just talking about, V, is I'm still looking at certification from this presidential election, and I'm hearing rumors that like Some of these states haven't certified yet the presidential election. And like I said, it's something that we've got to understand, that we have to admit, is outside of the general election and the swing states, Democrats actually did really good. They won over 70% of the elections they were in. Okay? And the presidential, the voting data is flawed. Texas has bent the knee and it sucks. This is a bumpy week. Yeah, it's going to be a bumpy week. So again, I want to point out that we were told like September 17th, so tomorrow is it, right? This is when the electors will cast their votes. And I'm just saying, like, I'm hearing information that says not all the states are certified, and it's the day before. Do you understand? And then, because so I'm expecting at some point certification. And then within a few days, that report lands on Joe Biden's desk on the 20th, which is Friday. And again, I'm conceding the fact that it might take a few days to kind of get our shit together. I was trying to explain in one of my earlier TikToks about data visualization and how you can't present an Excel sheet to the public. There are data visualization tools that will create like 3D models for your data that the public is going to enjoy. You know, remember what the guy that's on TV, what is his name, that from the election where he was doing all the data, he had the, you know, he had his sleeves rolled up and the little tie on, and he's like a younger guy, and he's talking about the data on the screen. um so yeah, I'm expecting, like I said the 23rd, that, you know, and I would, and again, I would leave my investigation open until the 20th. I would be turning that in live. You know what I mean? By the time that my report hits someone's desk, it's got the most up to date charges from the most up to date behaviors. Because you got to understand, one of the things that I think that is happening in front of our eyes that we're not talking about is I think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to find safe haven. They're trying to find a country to flee to. Having recently gone to France, being the far right German president, what else is there? Orban, Hungary, right? Um, but I just want to make sure that I get that content out. Who do you think to be the one? I live in the UK. We have our issues. Yeah. What do you think would be one to break it to the public? After 20 something sketchy's found, there's not a 45-day window. I think so. So the question then is, does that suspend the election and suspend the turnover? You know what I mean? Because again, I'm not only saying Donald Trump is not materially eligible to be president because of the 14th Amendment, Article 3, neither are his MAGA cronies that won their election too. 245 and then a 30-day. Does that suspend the election though? Giggity. Here's the, oh, that, so Brasher, that, you know, that just makes me more confident, right? You know, you just gassed me up, right? You should be blushing right now. Like, I just made that man a million times more fucking confident. Do you know how? Oh my god, that's fucking fantastic. That's great fucking news. There's a military flight out of Palm Beach to Saudi Arabia or Sudan. Brasher went down the Electoral College rabbit hole last night. So the last time there was a direct letter from the believe DNI, I think in 2018. So when did it come out? May. Did it come out on the 20th? Like, did a letter go out the day that it came in? The day, because here's what I figured. That's why I made my assumption was that I figure all these orgs they do data visualization differently. It's not like there's a uniform code of data visualization. UCDV. So it's not like all those agencies turned in a collated report that is the same across all entities, and it's like additive where they just they dovetail. I'm assuming they're all individual reports. They have their own data visualization and presentation method, and the type 21st of December. But here's the only problem. Here's the only problem. No interference with sound. Yeah, here's the problem. That's a Saturday. The 21st is a Saturday. Yeah, so remember that the reports are due to the Director of National Intelligence. Her name is Avril, and also the President, um, all the secretaries, Secretary of State, Defense, Commerce, War, whatever. Okay. Yeah. So again, and I'll maintain that steadfast belief the whole time. Donald Trump lost the general election, and all his MAGA cronies. So the general election, because remember, one of the main things that brought me to TikTok, was not only the Klan rally at Madison Square Garden, but also remember after the election that map of the U.S. and it said the whole country shifted right, and I was like, the fuck they did. The fuck they did. The right has gotten more and more isolated since January 6, 2021. Their numbers have waned. Darkest Day, Brasher. I know. I made that content. So that's why I said the 21st. The 23rd. I'm sorry, 23rd. Hell yeah, Logan. Like I told you, I keep being right. Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene are telling people to engage the drones. That's how I know I'm on the right side of history. Because I'm like, that's government. That's they're doing recon. They're trying to find these paramilitary groups organizing, preparing. I know you should be blushing. I fucking know. I'm doing fucking good. Like I wake up every day gassed the fuck up. Cuz I'm like I'm fucking right. Like I have little birdies that have come to me and said like you just put shit in my brain and I've sat on that and not said anything and I'm just like I guess I'll just fucking figure it out as it goes. Hey, and I wanted to point this out. You know, for those of you that have been following along about birdies, I got another one for you that already hit, and I sat on it. I waited. I figured one of you was going to come to me and be like, there was another one you were fucking right about? Yeah, I know, Chuck Grassley. So, hey, the, what is it, Smirnov? The Russian asset that falsely claimed the Bidens were giving money to Ukraine that was getting funneled to Hunter Biden or some shit like that. Oh yeah, he can't. He's not gonna be able to handle it. Did I tell you all? I think the government had something to do with ABC caving and giving Donald Trump 15 million. But keep in mind, Donald Trump doesn't actually get that money. That money goes into a library fund that he probably promised and is in danger of getting held accountable. So I just want to point that out. Good, Lori. Good. That's why my show exists and has 18 people here, and we've been doing this for like a week. Let me explain this to you. You don't understand it because this isn't the environment. Many years ago, I'm a really serious video gamer, and this game came out called Apex Legends. And I was trying to stream on Twitch and on YouTube too, and couldn't get any traction. I actually got invited to an invite only Apex Legends tournament. The only problem is you had to have 3 people. It was duos and you had to have an alternative. Not only could I not find a teammate, I couldn't find an alternative, like somebody that I could go to in the event that my teammate couldn't play. And I couldn't play in the tournament. So I had to enter with random people, and we made it into the money, and nothing, still never got any support for that because I'm like an older person playing video games. It's kind of like a young man's game. I can at least like settle with that part of the reason that I wasn't able to gain a following playing video games professionally, unable to even find teammates for the tournament, had to play with randoms, and we still made it very far into the tournament. And then I never played that game again because I was like I couldn't even get a teammate. Purchase a lot of coloring books and Sharpies. Yeah, Annie's right. He didn't even get to touch that money. So I just want to point that out. I actually think the government had something to do with that. And this is my conspiracy theory. I think that, you know how we found out over the weekend Donald Trump was going to be he was set to be deposed, or he was set to give a deposition. That's like 4 hours and shit. And I think the government is assessing Donald Trump, and they're like, he isn't going to make it. He wouldn't make it through that. We need all his energy for his fucking Hague trial, or for his fucking treason trial. Um, and they ordered ABC to go ahead and settle. Don't even take him to court. He's not going to be deposed. But again, the money doesn't even go to Donald Trump's pocket. It went to like a library fund or something. It's probably something that he promised and failed to deliver on, and now that can just be one less thing. And it seems like the government is being reasonable, where they're like, "Hey Don, we're just trying to keep you alive." Because like when you have like mountains of debt, it starts to weigh on you. And not only does Donald Trump have debt, he has debt, and the money is dark money. Those bills come due. I was trying to think about, think about Donald Trump, the quality of money that he's borrowed or taken or gotten, right? How much of that is from a good bank? How much of the money that Donald Trump has ever borrowed is from dark money? How much money has he gotten in his campaigns? That's dark money. So those are the kinds of things that I think is going to come out in the wash moving forward. I'm looking forward to sometime this week Jack Smith releasing his information from his investigations. So I think that information's coming out and the public's going to get a hold of it. We stopped kind of talking about that, but I still think that's going to come out. And I expect leaks. I expect leaks. You know, the you know the yeah. She ain't Letitia James. She ain't letting go of shit. Look at May. Look at May. It's gonna be May. Oh, somebody just posted like the greatest idea for a product ever is an Elon Musk punching bag. Huh. Anybody want to get rich? And I think everybody keeps asking me every time something happens, they're like, does this affect your how you feel? Like with that judge, right? What is this judge's name? James Wynn Jr. He was set to retire, right? And because of Trump, he decided not to. Um, that's fine. People do that all the time. People do that all the time. Like decide to stick around. I doesn't that doesn't necessarily. I think here's what I think. It's just as important to appoint all those federal judges so that you can get more work done downstream, right? Oh, and by the way, this is our this is who's coming out as a star out of this show. Okay, uh, that is that that lady I was telling you about, Nicole D'Angelo. She posted another TikTok, and it talks about the Arizona voter data. And if you haven't watched somebody do a data visualization on that yet, she has a really good video up. I encourage you to get on Reddit, start going to Something Is Wrong 2024, start posting links to my live and links to my content. One of the things that I learned about Reddit is they aren't real big on self promotion. So this is me saying, like, hey, if you feel like the conversation we're having or the content that I'm creating belongs on Reddit in the Something Is Wrong 2024 subreddit, it would be great if you'd post it. I can't do it myself. That's self promotion. They're kind of not like big on that. Um, Federal judges will be people to lower some do this. What? No, 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 no. I'm saying like there are these federal judges that are taking a step back into being a judge after like they were going to retire and shit because Trump's been elected, and it's just like people do that all the time. That's all I'm saying. Those judges rescind retirements all the time and stick it around, right? It's because there's not probably higher paying shit out there to do once you get up there. A lot of these companies are ageist. Yeah, so one of the things, look at this shit. See, I like to. This is why I like Reddit. So you won't find this conversation anywhere else on the internet. Okay, that this conversation is talking about why aren't the states certified? And I didn't look before I went live, but I'm reading the comments, and people are like, when you go to Wisconsin, there's instead of it saying that they've certified the election, there's a blurb about election security and fraud instead. They're saying Michigan has certified every race except the presidential. They went to, let's see, people were saying the election was supposed to be, all those were supposed to be certified by the 12th. Kelly Myers said, I missed the Midas touch stuff. No, no, no. For the record, people are going to take it the wrong way. I was talking about Jessica Denson and her podcast and how I know why that shit's not on Midas Touch because it's smart. Like it's like they're talking about the same stuff I'm talking about, except that was recorded on the 11th. So like 5 days ago. And it doesn't factor in Executive Order 13848. It doesn't talk about the prosecution of election crimes. It also doesn't talk about the fact that Donald Trump cheated in this election, like he's cheated at everything else in his life, and that there may be an outcome ahead of us that isn't what it looks like. Like what we're looking at is a mirage, right? Like I don't hear any of that shit. Instead, what I hear is fear mongering. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. It wasn't necessarily that pissed about it. Um, I see a lot of people like the Democrats aren't doing anything. Why aren't they telling us? They're very doom and gloom. Yeah. Oh, got it. It pays the bills. Panic dollars. That's what I call them. Because they're gonna make this. They're gonna make way more money having people constantly in a state of dread coming to them for every morsel. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, there's all the emails from Kamala Harris, right? Can't listen to it. No, not interested. Not interested. And then that's why I'm so thankful for all the people I have. Like I said, we got 18 people in here. We're an hour and 11 minutes into a show. Okay, y'all make the show. You are the reason. Uh, that you're the driving force here. I just show up and go live. Okay? That's a great question, Logan. And again, I didn't do that research myself. I'm talking about what other people are saying. Okay? So, certificates of ascertainment were due to the electoral college before the 12th. Yep. And keep in mind, I also think that part of the media is in cahoots. So I've been saying this before. Remember that I had a little birdie tell me, "Hey, I think you're onto something in regards to the lunch at the White House with Donald Trump and Joe Biden." Um, somebody came to me and they said, "Hey, I'm an executive. I work with people in the media in the northeast part of the country. Washington D.C., Virginia, New York, New Jersey. And hey, the media was all over the White House when Donald Trump was there for that lunch, and they didn't eat food. So I'm just telling you, I noticed the behavior change in Donald Trump and Elon Musk after that lunch that they both showed up to at the White House. As far as I'm concerned, D. Brasher. Elon's SEC money is due today. It's supposed to be 50 mil. I noticed he flew into Palm Beach and then flew back home. So I wonder if, yep, hasn't happened yet as far as I know. I keep our news, our world news, our politics pretty refreshed. I'm always trying to find the story as it comes out, right? I would want to know, especially if you don't look like me. Like, I can't imagine. I keep saying this, but like, I can't imagine going through this right now, not and you don't look like I do. You're in danger. Your very way of life is in danger. Every absolutely one of you, right? I'm a white cis male. I'm more likely to be the bad guy, right? Um, hey, Here's a great piece of news. Parkland shooting survivor David Hogg runs for Democratic committee post. We need young people in politics. Fuck yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna get Elon. I'm not worried about him. You know, like I said. Listen, here's how I feel about Elon Musk. Okay, Elon Musk might actually be worse than Donald Trump. Okay, Elon Musk. Okay, first of all, Elon Musk is one of those billionaires that has gotten everything and done nothing. All he did with Tesla is create an unsafe vehicle and an unsafe work environment. You know, all he did with SpaceX is confirm that rockets aren't that reusable. All he did, you know what I mean? Like you name the stuff that he bought these companies. He did not found them. He sued them to be able to say he founded Tesla, right? Yeah. SEC charges for securities fraud. And I want to remind everyone, you know who else had a career suing people for securities fraud? Kamala Harris. So, one of the things I found interesting about Elon Musk getting charged with potentially with securities frauds if he doesn't pay $50 million by today, which is what I was told or what I read, I find that very interesting. No shit, Logan. So yeah, a couple weeks ago, I saw a couple weeks ago. That was wild. Y'all are still there, right? A couple weeks ago, I saw a TikTok where the guy appeared to be like an engineer. So this wasn't like a entry level employee that's losing their mind. This was supposed to be like a mid level engineer. And he's like, I'm not some nobody. You know, I work for Tesla. And he had a Tesla badge on, and he had a one of those vests on, the worker vests, right? And he says, I'm an engineer. I'm working in contract with Tesla. And I think it was in Texas. That's the part I'm fuzzy about, is I couldn't remember where it was. And he said he's working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, uh, building a facility that is meant to produce robots. And his concern was that he'd heard that Elon Musk was going to build a robot army, and that he's working on an AI to drop into that robot army and unleash it on the American public. And I think somebody said that's like Iron Man 2. But that really happened, meaning I really watched that video. All the stuff that I just told you happened in that video where the guy was like, I'm an engineer, here's my fucking badge. I'm working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to get this facility built. And the rumor is that they're going to build fucking robots, like a robot army. Not drones, didn't say drones, robot army. And AI's Elon Musk has been working on a combat AI that he's going to drop into these fucking robot army. And initially, so understand the way my brain works is I'm like, I'm going to need to see that somewhere else. Okay. I got to see somebody else report that. uh, I'm not doubting the veracity of the claim because, again, yeah, May. But I was like, FBI, DOJ, like, hey, you want to talk about a threat to humanity? You want to talk about a threat? You want to talk about a threat? I don't think we've talked about this. We have about 10 minutes left. But I'm in school, right, to get this degree in data analytics, right? One of the classes I just took was artificial intelligence. And just so you all know, this was in the last year or two. In one of the classes that I took, we were allowed to use chat GCP, GPT, whatever, okay, for the first 4 weeks of the class. Do you know what we learned? AI is not that smart. It gains intelligence, it learns, right? It's going to be very intelligent. Sure. The thought process, yeah. Annie, see? That's what I'm saying. That video said an army of robots. And your concern is what's to stop him from making an army of drones. Exactly. What's to say he isn't? Somebody told me his brother owns a drone company. I can tell you that, like, he's not as smart as you think. um so here's from the AP. Okay. AP News. Musk says U.S. is demanding you pay penalty over disclosure of his Twitter stock purchases. Yeah. And it's an A-frame. Be careful. And I haven't seen anything come out yet. Okay. So I'm looking right now. I don't see it. Okay. But yeah, check this out. This happened like yesterday. Okay. That is the could some of this aerial activity and is purely military versus AI drone generated Musk flying machines. So that I think I saw, and again I'm gonna start qualifying that because like you never know what's real and what's fake anymore. But I saw that that somebody shot down a drone in New Jersey and it was an Air Force recon drone. Yeah, it's definitely gonna flop after that announcement. But yeah, that's And again, I don't like to spread rumors, okay? I like to stay in reality. Because when you start talking too much about rumors, this is the top story right now on Something Is Wrong 2024. It looks like on Twitter, the Politics video channel, which is verified, said Biden has been asked to investigate how Elon Musk knew Trump won 4 hours before the election was called. So hey, in my opinion, my birdies are very fucking good because my birdies said they felt like Elon Musk was the next domino to fall, and I'll be goddamn if on Friday he don't get a SEC charge, and then again we're gonna loosely say like this is interesting too, if true. This kind of makes me more confident in my birdies. By the way, I wanted to get back to the birdie thing and let's get out of here, okay? So we've been in here almost an hour and a half. I got to get up and go for a walk. And I encourage you to touch grass, drink water, get 8+ hours of sleep. Take care of yourself fucking first, okay? We got a fight ahead of us, Savvy. Um, but in terms of my birdies, remember that one of them came to me and was like, okay, I've been doing research. I can connect the voting machine hacks to Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and David Sacks, Sacks, the former COO of PayPal, Elon Musk's buddy. He just got a job in Donald Trump's cabinet. Okay, and then David Sacks hasn't really bubbled up to the surface. He's not catching charges yet, but underneath that, right underneath those three people, is Chuck Grassley. Okay? My little birdie told me Chuck Grassley. I just want to point out that I didn't catch it right away. You know that Alexander Smirnov that he lied about the Bidens and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Well, it came out that he fabricated that and that didn't really happen, right? Guess who was named on that deposition? Chuck Grassley was named on Alexander Smirnov's. Yeah, that's fucking right. So my goddamn birdies are off the chain. Like, when you talk about accurately predicting people's involvement, you're fine. We're doing great. Sorry, my son took my phone and sent that letter. Oh, like, yeah, we're taking an L. No, we're doing great, dude. So we had 19 people in here. We're doing great. Make sure that you like this, share this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit my TikTok up. Yeah, so I just want to make sure I throw that out there. I'll show you. I'll show you. We'll look it up. Alex is Smirnov was his name. Yeah, here. Okay. This guy. Hey, Joanne. Good morning. We're just getting out of here. Okay. That guy. Alexander Smirnov. He admitted he fabricated the conspiracy that Joe Biden and his son Hunter made millions from a Ukrainian energy company. Yeah. And what I found out in that is that in the fucking, the end, I think it's the deposition, Chuck Grassley is named, or not in here, I'm going to find it. Because here. Remember, Chuck Grassley was bragging about having the accusations from Alexander Smirnov investigated. So I just want to point out that my little birdies came to me like 10 days ago and dropped David Sachs and Chuck Grassley, the head of the EAC.gov, that Von Trovsky, that fucking lawyer. They also said Charlie Kirk, Tyler Bowyer. Keep these fucking names in fucking mind, because on my mama, that's those same little birdies were the ones that said Elon Musk is fucking next. And what happened on Friday? Elon Musk got a $50 million pay me now or SEC charges for securities fraud. That happened on Friday. In the last 8 hours, there is a rumor that Joe Biden is looking into how Elon Musk knew the election was over 4 hours before it was called. And I think we all know why. I think if you've read Stephen Spoonemore, or if you followed Nicole D'Angelo on TikTok and you look at her breakdown of all of the election data available, she does a great job of explaining from a layman's or laywoman's position the election results and how they don't tabulate, they don't make sense. And again, you're not hearing it anywhere else, but I fully believe this election was stolen, that Kamala Harris won this shit going the fuck away. And also, I would also say, all those cronies of Donald Trump, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and shit, I think they lost their shit too. Okay? So I think that those things are yet to come to light. I want you to keep that in mind. Like, all these other places are just doing. I wonder if Elon bank account posts are frozen. So maybe I took off a post on Twitter. Ding 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 ding. See, man, I was telling somebody where I was like, they've been monitoring, and that includes your bank accounts. Well, I have Discord. Wouldn't that be awesome? See, gosh, we're in such a good spot. Like I said, it'd be different if we were getting information that was like going against the general like trend of our show. Okay. But yeah, I could hear my wife might need my help. So, but yeah, let's set up a Discord. I'd love to, like I said, love to set up a Discord. Love to have community with, especially with the people that are like ardent supporters of my show, especially with the possibility of TikTok going away. Okay. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm thankful just to be in this spot with you all. We're consistently growing. Okay. Show fills up faster, stays full longer. We're consistently breaking a 90-minute. Okay, that's all great trends. It'd be different if we were consider setting up a group on there. I'll set up a justice's waiting room. I guess for now, the best thing to do. Let me get on Discord. Let's do it while I'm here. While we're all here. God damn it! There's a Scooby trick. It might be the way to go. No, it's fine. It was telling me I had a bunch of shit to do. It was like we have 16 updates. Like, motherfucker. I have never created a group. I've always been asked to be a part of a group. New group? Nope. Add a server. Study friends, artists, and creators, local community. Create my own. Community. I'm working. I know you're all like, what is this person doing? Create. Invite your friends. Copy. Paste. I have fucking Grammarly and it's sitting in the wrong spot. There. So there's your link to your Discord. You should probably pin that actually, huh? You are not gonna believe this. My name is likely alien. Well, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Okay. But we created a Discord server so that all the links that I post for all the, the links that we're sharing like every show. Hey, here's a link to the Executive Order 13848. Here's a link to the processing election crimes. You know what I mean? Like those links, people are like, hey, I want to be able to go back to those. You create a Discord server for us. So I just made a club for us to all join that's permanent, that's not going anywhere. Discord will be here till the end of time. Uh, TikTok, you know what I mean? Lemonade, whatever replaces that may not be here forever. Good to go. Good to go. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can contact me on TikTok still. You can contact me on Discord. There's the link to join. And we'll make sure that we put all the links that we're using, like every show, we'll put them in our Discord. That's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna post links into our Discord. Okay. But if you join the Discord, you'll know when I'm online. You know what I mean? Okay. So hey,